Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's Monday, October 2nd. Wow, it's weird, isn't it? Not discussing the Lions on a Monday morning.
I know,
It feels great considering they won last week. But we got a packed show for you guys planned for today. A lot of Lions, a lot of around the NFL, because we got to talk about some games that happened over the weekend, specifically in the NFC North. Because you kind of got to see the division shake out a little bit. We'll get to that later on in the show. We'll talk a little Chicago because Chase Claypool, I saw a certain writer, who I respect a lot actually, proposed the idea that the Detroit Lions go and trade for Lucas's boy, Chase Claypool.
You do not put Lucas's boy next to Chase Claypool, I'll tell you that
That's
much.
what I was told. Late round pick?
Not by me. Not by me.
What a disaster of an organization. You trade essentially a first-round pick. It's the first pick in the second round for Chase Claypool. And now Ryan Poles is asking for a late-round pick for him. It's quite the storyline in Chicago. We'll talk about Jameson Williams. He's back. The NFL made some changes to the policy. He's returning sooner than later. He'll be available this week. This week against the Carolina Panthers. It's J-Mo's debut. Can't wait to discuss that with Sam Flannel. 8:45, I want to have a breakdown because over the weekend, I was sitting there thinking about some of the players. Who am I going to highlight this week? Who should I cover this week? And I decided to do Cam Sutton. And I'm gonna break down the numbers because I don't think people understand how good of a season Cam Sutton's having, like quietly. And I went through and compared his numbers to some of the premier corners in the league, and that's at 8:45. I'm gonna break that down and give that man his flowers. At 9 o'clock, we'll talk about the NFC North and the NFC. Where do the Lions shape up? Where do they rank according to the other teams in the NFL? But first, I want to start by just kind of saying a couple things here. We'll get to the Sam Laporta stuff too, because happened to run into Sam Laporta right around the block here from the studio. Great guy, super great guy. And honestly, I was shook a little bit too. That's like the last person I expected to just see in public. Like usually maybe you'll see Germ out there. Out of all the people, I saw Sam Laporta.
It'd still be hard to confirm that it's him too. You know what I mean? Because he's so young. You don't really damn, that's a big ass dude.
Yeah,
walking by and you're like, holy shit, that's Sam Laporta. But then you could be like, I don't know if it is.
No, well, I'll get to that in a couple minutes. But first, I want to say, man, congratulations to Miguel Cabrera on a great career. I know that it was nice yesterday, no Lions football. It was just Tigers. And if you were at that game, man, what a hell of an experience for not only Tigers fans, but for Miguel. So I want to give a big shout out to him. Ends his career over 500 home runs, almost 1,900 RBIs, and just what a hell of a career for them to send him off like that. And the Tigers to land kind of second in the AL Central. Expecting to be a playoff team next year, or at least compete for the playoffs. So anyone that was at the game last night, super jealous. It must have been a great experience. I know, JB, you were there, right?
Oh, I was there.
How was it?
I was there, and let's just say a lot of people were very emotional that day. Yeah, I seen a lot of people crying, and it was like, wow, this guy has truly impacted us here in Detroit and the game of baseball in whole as a general. But man, it was a good day. Tigers got the win. They didn't have him out there for the ninth inning, but they did something special. They basically put him out there at first base. He caught one little grounder and then basically kind of gave his his goodbyes, waved his goodbyes to everyone. His family was there as well, and everyone just from the bullpen just got out, just congratulated him, giving him hugs and everything. And hey, it was a good send-off. I'll say that.
Yeah, went back to first base just to reminisce there. I mean, it was awesome. Honestly, Miguel's one of those guys. He cemented himself. You think about Barry for the Lions, Isaiah Thomas for the Pistons, and you go to Miguel Cabrera for the Tigers, Sam Flannel. That's how that works.
No, absolutely. 500 home runs, 3,000 hits, over 300 career batting average. He's one of the greatest hitters to ever play Major League Baseball, and we're fortunate as Tiger fans to be able to watch basically the prime of his career from about 2008 to 2016. There was nobody in the league that was a better hitter than he was, and the fact that he got that sort of hero send-off on the day when it just so happened that the Lions had already played on Thursday, so the Tigers kind of got the whole day to themselves. You couldn't write a better script, in the fact that he actually, towards the end of the season, and I know this kind of seems irrelevant now, he kind of heated up as a hitter. He got a home run recently in the season, got a couple of doubles. I mean, it's weird. And very short glimpses, you kind of see the Miggy of old, and that is really, really great to see. And I don't know if we'll ever see a Tiger quite like Miguel Cabrera as long as we live, honestly.
Yeah, no, and that's 100% I agree with that one. Again, shout out to Miguel Cabrera. For all the people that appreciated him now, you appreciate him more than ever. You appreciate something when they're gone. And I know you'll be seeing a lot of Miguel Cabrera around Comerica Park. They'll have some memorabilia of Miguel there. But speaking of a legend to maybe an upcoming legend, you throw that picture of Sam Laporta if you have it. This is look at this. Look at that, Sam Laporta, man. And I wanna just describe like how it happened because it was super random. So me and my girl were staying at the Townsend Hotel. We were there on Saturday, and we were dog sitting. So we decided, you know what? Let's go for a walk. We walk around the area, the Royal Oak area, and as we're walking, we're going around that little right there where the brick is. We're turning around that little corner, and here comes Sam Laporta. Just us four, right? Him and his girlfriend, me and my girlfriend, and yeah, what a surprise, crazy. Usually you'd see him in like a packed area, and other people will be like, Sam. Completely dead. There's no one around. I see Sam, and the first thing I thought was, is that Sam Laporta? Like, he has this, like, you just know it's Sam, but then the second part of it was, like, do I want to say something? Am I certain it's Sam Laporta? And then I said, you know what? That is Sam Laporta. And then my mind shifted to, should I say something? Because, like, usually I'm the guy where I like to just let him be alone. I don't like to bug anybody. Usually if I see someone in public, you just kind of let them do their thing. But then I had to, like, for the show's sake, because I did it for the boys and for myself. I'm selfish.
You wouldn't have said anything.
But I had to because we talk so much about Sam, and you do too, Lucas. I mean, you love the guy. But when I saw him, I was like, Sam, can I get a picture? And he's like, yeah, of course. So I'm talking like, man, you're setting records. Like, you're out there destroying opposing linebackers and safeties. And we took the photo. And I told him, like, keep balling, dude. Like, seriously. Like, it's a pleasure to run into you, but specifically watch you thrive out here as a rookie. And he said, the most Sam Laporta fashion, his response was, I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Yeah, that's what he said. I was like, keep balling. He's like, I'm going to try. I'm like, damn, you're so humble, man. You're so humble, man. This guy needs to be a Detroit Lion for the rest of his career. Yes, it's because I met him and I'm biased. But he is just down to earth. He's friendly. I mean, he took time. He could have been like, no, man, I'm busy. I'm with my girlfriend. But no, he took a photo. Super nice, genuine. I didn't want to give away. I know people were like, where were you? And I was hesitant because I don't want to like expose where he walks around at. But hey, I already said it. We were in Royal Oak, in which you'll see a lot of other Lions. I saw Rodney Magruder one time walking around here. But to go from Rodney Magruder to Sam Laporta,
there's a level there.
There's a level. And for people that saying you didn't invite him on the show, this is the problem too. When I first ran into him, yes, that was in my head, like to tell him, hey, I host a morning show, would love to have you on, but I didn't want to come off as I'm trying to sell him something, or you know what I mean. I wanted to be like a genuine interaction where it's like, hey, big fan of yours, man, keep balling. I didn't want to leave it at that. He'll see us one day. We'll rekindle. Maybe we can get him on the show.
He knows about Woodward. His mom DM'd the Heavies the one day.
Yeah, see, that's awesome. I didn't want to get too, hey, you want to join the show? And then he probably would have been like, oh, okay, this guy's just trying to get me on, trying to get something out of me. It was a genuine experience, but I could have seen anybody from the Lions. It would have been Sam Laporta. So that was awesome.
Lucas, how are you feeling? Because we all are in a group chat, and we got that picture from you, Jeff Iafrate, and the only person I could think of was Lucas. I mean, I'm sure you were happy for our boy Jeff Iafrate because, the morning show sticks together. But Lucas, was there a part of you that's just like, why couldn't that have been me?
Not part, all of me.
All of you.
Every ounce of my body. No, I was happy for Jeff, obviously, but should have been me. Should have been me. It's like working your ass to try to get a girl. Then there's this new guy who just comes along in the new school and he just picks her right up. Like nothing happened.
Yeah, and it's funny because out of all the people, like that would have been like you seeing like Josh Pascal and me being like, come on, dude. Like come on. Like out of all, and honestly, I wish
shaken.
That would have been I wish you were with me, Lucas, because I think ideally, and I should have been like, yo, Lucas Klotz, remember the name, Sam Laporta. Like
he will.
That man slobs on your knob.
Pause,
full discreet.
Pause.
Calls you a Hall of Famer before you even hit the field.
Hey, yo!
It's just how it is.
No, and honestly, man, I hate to say this because when you look at the picture, Jeff Iafrate, you are not a small man. But standing next to Sam
Oh,
Laporta,
yeah.
you look tiny. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
look at this. Jeff Iafrate, what are you, about like 6 foot, 185 or something like that?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how. How do you have my information? That's
don't know.
actually exactly how. Yeah, I'm about 6 foot 185, and he's listed at 6'3". He's got to be like 6'4", dude. He's big. He's big.
Think about trying to tackle him, bro.
Oh,
like
no, I'm good.
safeties, like strong safeties are like 6 foot, 6'1", maybe like 200 pounds.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's-
obviously you have like tall ones out there, but like strong safeties are usually like Quandre Diggs. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
he's-
they're not like huge.
He's big, and he's a year younger than me. So I'm looking at him like, holy
Jesus
shit.
Christ,
Like,
that
look
is
at-
weird to think about.
Yeah, he's born in 2001.
He's still a little bit older than me, so I got that going for me.
Yeah.
At least.
At least you're. Yeah, I'm older than you, but he's older than you. He could be hanging out with us, Sam Laporta. That's his age, but he doesn't look like it. The guy's a grown ass man. So that was a lot of fun. Shout out to Sam Laporta. Hope I didn't, bug him too much. He's just trying to shop, and I'm like, Sam, what up, dude?
That fucking Jeff
Get a
Iafrate
picture.
kid.
I know. He's like, who's this jackass, dude? Come on, really? I'm like, come on, dude. Who cares? No, it was awesome. It would have been funny if I was like, Sam Laporta, and he's like, no, dude, my name's Derek. Like, I don't even know who the hell you are.
That's like my worst fear when I think of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just some some just big ass casual guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just big for nothing.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm just like, hey, what up, Sam? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm not Sam Laporta. I'm like, oh, shit, well, and I have a good one.
I worry about the same thing too. It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
But I took a chance and it paid off. So, hey, it is what it is. Usually I don't. Usually I'm the guy that's like, you know what? I don't want to bug him. That's like usually my mindset. But for Sam, you have to. Like, that guy, I'm telling you, he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats for Lions tight ends. He's
You're
on
probably
pace right
tracking
now.
him with the dog. You probably like went to Ford Field, found like his towel, sniffed on the dog.
no,
Find him,
no, that-
find him,
no,
find
that's
him.
Not, no, that is not what happened. I'm like, sick him. Let's go find him.
Like from Ted.
Yeah, dude. I'm like stealing Sam Laporta's shit to like sniff this, and we're gonna walk on Royal Oak. You tell me where he's at. All right, we need to get this man on the morning Woodward show. Hopefully that one day that's the goal. Get Sam Laporta on, and Lucas can confess his love for him, and we can all just kumbaya with Sam Laporta. Tell him how much we appreciate him. Phil says, did your girlfriend like each other? Are you talking about like his girlfriend and my girlfriend? I don't know what that means.
Did the gals get along?
Yeah, well, it was kind of awkward because like I was over here freaking out as a grown man about Sam Laporta, and then my girlfriend took the photo for me. Thank gosh. I mean, she did it, and then his girlfriend was just kind of like, all right, like she probably is used to it. But I probably blew his cover though, if I'm being honest, because I took the photo and I think people saw that, and when people see someone taking a photo with somebody, they're like, that guy's famous. So like
Yeah.
I'm sure he got like berated after that. But regardless, shout out to Sam Laporta, man. Great guy. Let's go to break. When we get back, I do want to get into the whole Chicago stuff with Chase Claypool, because a certain writer did propose the idea that the Lions maybe throw a late round pick for Chase Claypool, and me and Lucas have some thoughts on it. I know Sam does as well. We'll do that when we get back from break. But first, Sam, could you tell the people about Lady Jane's?
Oh, of course, where I think Sam Laporta should probably get his haircut too, just like myself. And you can come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Let me tell you about our friends over at 5 Iron Golf. Play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf. Downtown's newest sports bar. They got 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. Mention promo code Woodward at checkout for 50% off your first visit. And visit 5ironGolf.com to tee up good times. We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Plenty more to get to. I just got over that, that whatever that was, the love fest of Sam Laporta. Now we're moving on from that. And I know people have a question. By the way, it's a friend of ours. They had a wedding, and they were staying at the hotel, and they have a dog there. So, of course, we volunteered. We're like, well, we'll watch the dog for you. Go ahead. Yeah, enjoy your big day. And then, that's the whole explanation of why we're at the hotel dog sitting. I know it's a little confusing.
Now you're on the Sam Laporta Hall of Fame train, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All it took was me meeting him. And, I'm 100% biased. He is a Hall of Famer. All right, moving on. Let's get to this Chase Claypool stuff because let's just get it out the way. All right. Do you have some explanation? Do you have some screenshots here we can get to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's walk through what's going on. Justin Rogers, who I respect, by the way, he does great work. And look at this. No inside info on this, but I know another NFC North GM who has affinity for big-framed, high-end athletes at receiver having something to prove is the cherry on top. Tyrell Williams, Perriman, Chark, and Mims. The Lions keep swinging for this piece. Well, Justin, and I love you, Justin, but if you look at most of those wide receivers did not work out. Tyrell Williams, and I gotta admit, even me, when Tyrell first got here, I'm like, maybe they got something, like I kind of, not like,
he was kind of nice in San Diego, I think was at the time.
I'm not saying the guy I thought he was going to be elite, but I'm like, maybe he could be a serviceable, 600-yard guy, like a solid wide receiver 3, 2, whatever it is. Yeah, it didn't work out. Perriman didn't work out. Chark worked out when he was healthy, I think I would say he worked out in the 1 year.
Sure.
Mims, Denzel Hims, as referred to as Lucas, did not make it through training camp. Now we have Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool. Are you kidding me? The guy that couldn't motivate me to make a sandwich. And he has no effort. He plays with no effort. That was the biggest thing the Bears knock him for. And then there was conflicting reports coming out of Chicago where Matt Eberflus said, no, we didn't send him home. He just decided to go home. And then a team official came out and said, no, we sent him home. So Chicago's already a mess, as we know it is. But Chase Claypool specifically, the reason why he has not been able to work out in Chicago, you can blame the passing game. But for a guy like that physically gifted, 6'4", 200 pounds, you saw what he did at Notre Dame and early on in Pittsburgh. Hell no. Hell no to Chase Claypool. They don't need him. That's not a guy I want in the locker room. He just doesn't fit, I don't think, what the Lions are looking for in a player, not just a wide receiver. So for me, hell no to Chase Claypool. Someone will take a flyer on him that needs wide receivers. Do I talk about the wide receiver depth this team has? Of course. You're getting J-Mo back, though. And I think Josh Reynolds stepped up tremendously, Khalif Raymond. They got Sam Laporta. I think they have enough. I don't think they need to trade a late first-round pick for a guy that I don't even think will work out in Detroit. So I say no to Chase Claypool. No, hell no. Oh, hell no.
I would probably say no to Chase Claypool as well. Chase Claypool's an interesting one because his first couple of years in Pittsburgh, I definitely was like, wow, they might have something there, especially after his rookie year. I thought that he was going to be the wide receiver 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers for years to come, but it obviously hasn't worked out that way. I would say, jaded by Chase Claypool based on what I've saw from him out of his last 2 seasons, because in his last 18 games as a professional football player, last 18 games as a guy who I thought would one day be a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, and who was one of the leading receivers on Pittsburgh in his rookie season. 50 receptions for 502 yards and 2 touchdowns in 18 games. That's more than a full season. And in his 10 games with the Bears, 18 receptions, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, made virtually no impact whatsoever. And the Lions right now, here's the thing about the Lions. Coming into the season, the weapons that they had, I thought they were missing one. I thought maybe they were 1 wide receiver short. But I will say this. With the emergence of Sam Laporta, I know he's a tight end. It doesn't seem like as big of an issue now because you have a rookie tight end who is on pace for 1,000 yards. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is on pace for over 1,400, and Josh Reynolds, who is on pace for over 900, along with Khalif Raymond, who has stepped up in moments, and a Jahmyr Gibbs, who we think will be more involved in the passing game as time goes on, and Jamison Williams is coming back this week. So, to me, Chase Claypool would be a hard pass. The only pathway that I could maybe think of to rationalize it is Chase Claypool obviously is very, very talented. He had flashes. And Marvin Jones, a guy who was brought in to kind of be a contributor, has done absolutely nothing this year.
Right.
I would say that is your only rationalization for maybe thinking about Chase Claypool, but I would still say a hard no, just because ever since his last couple of years, he has basically dropped off the face of the earth, and you hear about issues in the locker room and all of that. So absolutely not to Chase Claypool. Talented guy, but he just seems to have either the yips or I don't know what's wrong with him, but we don't want him on this team, especially given the fact that the wide receiver room seems to be a little bit more deep than maybe we thought before the season.
Yeah, you don't need a guy like Chase Claypool to come, poison your locker room. And
No.
It's just a distraction. Now, Lucas, if when people talk about Mike Evans, I can get on board with going out and acquiring a guy like that if he's available and giving up more assets for him because you know what Mike Evans is. He's doing it with Baker. He did it with Jameis, excuse me. He did it with Tom. No, on Chase Claypool. That is a big no.
FCC. Fuck Chase
There we
Claypool.
go.
I want nothing to do with Chase Claypool. Do you
The
guys remember
FCC.
I was all out. Remember Chase Claypool
Damn.
was saying he's a number 3 wide receiver in the NFL. He's that guy.
Yeah,
and then he came out with this picture. This is Chase Claypool. This is the guy that people want in a Detroit Lions uniform. Absolutely not. If you can't make it in Chicago, pal. If you can't make it for Matt Eberflus, you're a healthy scratch for that Bears wide receiving. Do you guys see him trying to block in
Yeah,
week
not
2?
good.
Oh, bad.
Not good.
Awful.
If you're not willing to block
Awful.
and you're 6'5", that's the only reason they have Marvin Jones out there half the time is to block. Because they'll be
Right.
in the I form, they'll have a fullback, and then either Gibbs or Montgomery behind them. They'll stick out Marv. Marv's job is strictly to block. That is what you would ask Chase Claypool, and he can't even do that. Chase Claypool needs to stay the hell away from Detroit. And he's probably going to be he'll go to the CFL here in a couple years. He's from Canada. He'll migrate back there in a little bit.
Hey, remember when they called him, oh, God, this one was cringe, by the way. When I first heard this, and then it was kind of simultaneous because I heard this, what he called himself, which was Mapletron. And then he said he's a top 5 wide receiver.
Mapletron.
Like, he was on this tour of, like, telling everybody and declaring himself as one of those guys. And then after that, he just dropped off.
Genuinely, give me Denzel Mims back before you give me Chase Claypool.
If you refer to yourself as Mapletron, you're a bum. Before you've done anything in this league. Come on. No, I'm good on Chase Claypool. Hell no, even for a 7th-round pick.
I don't care what it is.
Chris says Chase Claypool is like Kenny Galladay.
I wouldn't even give him that.
I honestly, Galladay has had better years though. He had 2 1,100-yard years. I don't think would Chase have 1,000?
No.
Yeah, then
He's never even had
okay,
900.
then
He
never
just had a
mind.
bunch of touchdowns his rookie season.
Yeah,
He
never
had a good
mind.
rookie year. Like we can't deny that. But the one thing I want to go a little bit back to the Justin Rogers tweet at the beginning. We're talking about big framed, high-end athletes at receiver. The Lions, at least over the last couple of years, I mean, this is not the company that you want to be in, at least when it comes to the Lions. Tyrell
No.
Williams flop. Rashad Perriman, I don't even think he made the team. Denzel Mims didn't even make this team when you thought, especially with Jamison Williams being out for what we thought was 6 weeks, is now going to end up being 4. More on that later. We expected Denzel Mims to be able to make this team, and he didn't even do it. As we said before, DJ Chark, that was a 1 success, but it just kind of seems like the Lions as a whole, maybe they do have an affinity for this kind of a receiver, because on paper you'd think that's what the Lions need, but it doesn't usually work out. Do I think that Chase Claypool could maybe contribute something for this team? Maybe, but I don't trust him. He fell off the face of the earth with Chicago. He didn't do anything. And no, it's not all because Justin Fields is there. He's been horrendous. He's been a dumpster fire.
Well, when you have a GM like Brad Holmes, you don't have to do these things. Like they drafted Chase Claypool in the 2nd round. Like, Brad Holmes found Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. You could find a Chase Claypool. Trust me, with his production. Like, this is the benefit of having a good GM.
And the whole reason people wanted Mike Evans was while J-Mo was out, there needed to be a deep threat. And I'm sorry, have you seen Chase Claypool make like an outstanding play? I think he had 1 touchdown this year. And it was actually a very good throw by Justin Fields, if anything. Chase Claypool's done. He's done. We're getting J-Mo back. I'd rather see Antoine Green out there for the whole game than see Chase Claypool out there for 1 snap. It'd be like throwing out 10 guys out there if you put Chase Claypool out there. He's not a match for the chemistry. His work ethic is terrible, which is what this whole culture is built on. He's just the definition of not a match here. It wouldn't be a fit whatsoever.
Yeah, Mike G says Claypool is young, and if he's an asset, why not look at him? And Jameson is still an unknown. And by the way, the whole Jameson is still an unknown thing, that's fair, because I can't argue much. I haven't seen a ton of Jameson. But the whole thing with Chase Claypool, saying he's young, you can only say that for so long with Chase Claypool. There's an attitude problem, and if you want to just say, well, he's young, we say the same thing with Jameson. When something's happening or he's, whatever happens with Jameson, usually it's like, well, the immaturity, he's young. I don't want two of those guys. I don't need Chase Claypool. What does he bring to me? Is he going to come on this team and immediately make an impact? I don't think so. So is it worth a 6th, 7th round pick? No, I don't think so. And again, for a guy that I don't think will stick around, it's just like a waste to me. I think he comes in, and is he better than is the coaching staff going to trust him over, besides Amon-Ra, over Josh Reynolds, over Marvin Jones even, who's been ass, but still, are they going to trust Chase Claypool? I don't think so.
Randall L would eat Chase Claypool for breakfast. Chase Claypool is so soft mentally.
They would dog him.
Randall L is just one of those guys. He's a no BS coach. All these coaches are no BS, and all Chase Claypool does is bring BS. Did you see him last week? Or it actually might have been this week when they're like, do you think Matt Eberflus is using your full potential? He's just like looking around. He's like, no. Like if you do that in the Lions locker room, bro, you're traded in 2 weeks. I guarantee it. If not, you're released and you lose your contract. So there's just no hope for him in Detroit. Stop saying it. Even the people that think they want Chase Claypool in Detroit, you do not want Chase Claypool in Detroit.
It's the physical tools he has. Oh, he's big. He's fast. This is a guy the Lions could use this offense, and with Jared Goff, maybe he could be better. Trust me, I get it. But I also understand the other part of that, which is you're going to fall for the bait. Don't do it. Don't do it. Chase Claypool is not a guy you want in this locker room. You just don't. And I think you nailed it. Antoine Randall L would tear him apart.
Yeah.
His laziness. He can't block. Again, do you trust his hands? No.
He's a lousy route runner.
There's a lot of things there. A lot of concerning things. So, again, like Denzel Mims, we went through that with him. He didn't stay healthy, but there was other things you questioned. And look, he didn't make the roster. So I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the whole Chase Claypool to the Lions is off. There'll be a team that reaches for him, but enough of that. Hell no. Hell no.
Bring me back Chase Cota before that.
Oh, hell no.
Actually, I don't hate that.
They're both like the same size.
Chase Cota, I'll take him over Chase Claypool. The better.
I'll take the better Chase.
The better Chase. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oregon legend, Chase Cota. Let's move on here. We'll get to the we'll go to break. When we come back, I do want to bring up Jameson because we didn't get to talk about that Friday. It kind of came out after our show ended, unfortunately. But we got Lucas back today. Can't wait to get into it. It'll be good discussions. But first, I got to hear about our friends over at Dispo.
Absolutely. Experience Dispo Romeo, a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. The first ever cannabis mall of its kind is conveniently located off Van Dyke and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. Dispo Romeo is now open late night until midnight every day except Sunday. Can it get any better than that? Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Go in.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesales.com or give them a call at 248-290-8242. markwhitesales.com, where flexibility meets success.
Rob Newsom in the Woodward Sports YouTube chat says, I would take EQ St. Brown before I took Claypool.
Yeah, 100. Like that,
You see
not
that
even
catch?
trying to be funny. Like, that's spot on.
You see the catch EQ made, though, against the Broncos?
I did not.
Oh, my God. Like, it was nice. And he never plays, so it was nice to see him out there. Beautiful catch. I'm with you, Rob. Let's talk about J-Mo, though, because J-Mo's back. And the NFL made some changes. The NFL and the NFLPA, they agreed to adjust the existing gambling policy as it relates to players, which will immediately reinstate a couple of suspended players, one of them being Jameson Williams. And, of course, a Titans offensive lineman, but who cares? It's Jameson Williams. He's back. The other thing is, and Tom Pelissero reports, Williams still had 2 weeks left on his existing suspensions to Friday's policy change. Now, the adjustments also include heightened penalties for players who bet on their own games, including a possibility of a lifetime ban and reductions of penalties of players who place bets on other sports while in a workplace or while working. That was Jameson's kind of problem there, is he was betting on another sport at a workplace. Under some sort of policy, he can't do that, so he was banned. But he is back. He is back. Jameson Williams is back. And this is the good thing, too, because our biggest question before the season was, can the Lions hold it down until he gets back? Well, guess what, Sam Flannel? It's the best case scenario. They're 3-1. He's coming back, and it's exciting. This is a guy who last year when he played, and it's crazy to think about this, Week 14, when he played last year, he was the fastest receiver on the field in the entire week. He ran 20.31 miles per hour. You're getting him back. So, again, hopefully he can hit the ground running, and that's what I expect him to do.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see him more with the football in his hands and use that speed. But you know what? I'm not even gonna go there, because I think when he gets back, hopefully the Lions will utilize him in this offense more than they did last year, especially given the fact that I don't think there'll definitely be no restrictions on his knee, because of course last year he was coming back from a torn ACL. But Lucas, I know you tweeted this and you mentioned this on the heavyweights. The 6-day stretch for the Detroit Lions was almost like a dream. We had 2 Victory Monday shows in the same week. It was absolutely unbelievable to get to 3-1, and then you hear later on in the day, I believe it broke during Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, that Jameson Williams was back from suspension and is eligible to play against Carolina this week, and it was just like a celebration for the rest of the night, because as you said before, we're talking about, like, could the Lions hold it down without Jameson Williams? I think we all thought that they could, but they only had to miss him for 4 games. In those 4 games, they were 3-1. They were 3-1 in those 4 games, and they're fully in control of the NFC North. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to Jameson Williams, I know that he has very, very high expectations, and I know that he wasn't really a big part of this Lions offense last year. But Jameson Williams, if he actually is what a lot of people think that he is, what I think that he can be, what we all think that he can be, what is really the ceiling for this Lions offense? Best in the NFL? And then maybe if Jameson Williams is what we actually think that he is he even, are we talking about Amon-Ra and J-Mo as being one of the best 1-2 punches for wide receivers in the NFL? Are we talking about J-Mo potentially being number 1 at some point, being the number 1 receiver on this offense? And this is no disrespect to Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's just that Jameson Williams has more talent than Amon-Ra. We just don't know if he's going to put it together on the field yet, but we think that we hope that he will. And now he gets a chance to finally show it. And I'll tell you what, too, a 13-game season, that's not insignificant. That's like a lot of, I mean, you're going to miss games as an NFL football player. So if he gets to have a 13-game season, we can really kind of see what he is, and he can have a real rookie season. So this is great news all around, and it's just so amazing that all these great things keep happening to the Lions. Knock on wood, of course. It just feels like a dream right now. I almost don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, and this is the thing about Jameson Williams, too, because you look at this wide receiver room, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is the unquestioned number 1. He's the best.
Yes.
But when you talk about talent, like ability, Jameson's blessed with more ability. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown works harder. He's always had to work hard to get to where he is. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, but Jameson's always been talented. Now, you haven't seen it play out for him. You've seen flashes last year, but that's the thing. When Brad took J-Mo, he envisioned him in Amon-Ra St. Brown being a 1-2 punch. Who cares about the number 1, number 2? Who cares? You have 2 guys that are dynamic. One, very different skill sets, but they complement each other. If you have Jameson Williams on the field with Jahmyr Gibbs, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, this offense, the ceiling raises. And you could argue with Jahmyr and Jameson, they're one of the more fastest offenses. Besides, the Dolphins are the premier offense. You look at all the speed they have. I'd put the Lions up there, at least with 40 times. I mean, you look at Jahmyr, 4-3 guy, Jameson, 4-3 guy.
Khalif Raymond,
4-3 guy. Like, the amount of speed you have, just that wide. And then even Sam Laporta, I think he's, well, at least among tight ends, he's pretty damn fast too. So speed on the field increases. I think overall, with the talent, like, again, depth in this wide receiver room, yeah, we questioned it, but you get Jameson back, I'm cool with it. Because even after J-Mo's going to play, and hopefully, this week he gets significantly involved, or at least as time goes on, he gets more involved. But even if J-Mo or Josh Reynolds goes down, you have Khalif, even Marvin Jones, who hasn't been playing well. With J-Mo back, I like the wide receiver room a whole lot. I do. I don't think they need to. Could they trade for a premier wide receiver? Yeah. Do they have to? I don't think so. J-Mo should be enough if he lives up to what he was coming out of the draft.
J-Mo is absolutely enough. This Lions offense is already a top passing threat without him. And I know everybody, including myself, wanted Mike Evans, but after watching these first couple of weeks, there's no need for Mike Evans. And now you're adding what will be one of the best deep threats in the league to Ben Johnson's offense. This offense is going to take another step. You think David Montgomery had a monster game this week against Green Bay. Just wait till Jameson Williams back on the field when you have to back those safeties up, widen up the linebackers. Think about this for a second. Amon-Ra St. Brown, because when you're coaching football, the whole job is, and you've seen on the defense, put your best 11 on the field. That's why you see Derek Barnes on the edge, Jack Campbell on the edge, and they're going to do the same thing with the offense. We're going to have Jameson Williams out there, Amon-Ra St. Brown out there, David Montgomery out there, Jahmyr Gibbs out there, and Sam Laporta out there. How are you going to stop that? Pick one poison, the other one's going to kill you. This offense is going to be, it's already one of the most balanced offenses in the league, but now you get to add the serious Ben Johnson effect. The Lions were the number 2 team besides Miami in pre-snap motions. Why do they do all that motion? Because they have all that speed, and when you're doing that before the snap, that defense has to adjust. So when that defense is adjusting to Jameson Williams, simply just running from one side of the field to another, run David Montgomery up the middle. That's going to be an extra 2 yards because the safeties now have to move. This is going to open up the offense. Yeah, it might take away from some production, but this offense, I truly, truly believe, especially when you have them coming back against Carolina and Tampa Bay, where they don't have to use them 100%. They can almost kind of, if they want to use them for a decoy for a game or two, that's the perfect time to do it, because then you go into Baltimore, and oh my, Baltimore with a banged up secondary. Telling you, man, Jameson Williams, hate him now,
right.
You're going to love him later. Because in one play, Jameson Williams in one play will score a touchdown, and all the hate, it's going to dissipate.
Well, he has a one-play touchdown ability. Like
I know, but coming into the season, like, people are like, oh, he's suspended.
Right.
He got hurt during suspension, so that was another reason for people to doubt him. But think about how loud this Sunday Ford Field will be. You got all the momentum that's coming. You got 2 wins in a row. You're winning off Lambeau. And Jameson Williams scores a touchdown against the Carolina Panthers. Do you know how loud Ford Field would get? That place would erupt.
I mean, it was like last year, like when he scored the TD against Minnesota last year. It was like it was his first TD, I believe it was, and that was electric. But Sam, you look at the impact Jameson makes, and although he still has to prove it, he makes an impact on the field without even touching the football. Just being there. Like, yes, he has to touch the football, of course, but just being there, the defense immediately has to key in on his speed. That's just how that works. He makes everybody better upon being on the field. That's what excites me the most about J-Mo. Yes, making plays, but just his presence affects the offense in a positive way.
And see, I agree with you, but I also don't want to act like he's going to be a number 12 overall pick decoy. I know that's not necessarily what you're saying, but you're kind of acting like, oh, his presence on the field is actually what excites me the most, not him touching the football. That's not a number 12 overall pick. That's not
what I'm saying.
Okay, fine. That's not a superstar.
But you got to understand, he's not going to touch the ball every play.
Sure.
So I'm saying the plays he doesn't touch the ball, Sam, he still has a positive impact.
Well, and that's.
Do I want to see him get catches? Yes, like I do.
Okay, and that's 100% fair. But here's the thing about this Lions offense. I would say that with Jameson Williams, when he was out, some people stepped up. I would say that Sam Laporta has been better than any of us could have ever imagined this early in his career. He's on pace for 1,000 yards. Josh Reynolds is on pace to have the best season of his life by far. And now you bring in Jameson Williams, and now all of a sudden, you're feeling pretty comfortable about this group of weapons, especially given the fact that Amon-Ra St. Brown is also on pace for the best season of his life, and he's already a top 10 wide receiver.
Right.
So this offense, as I said before, it's got a very, very high ceiling. I think there are a lot of defensive coordinators that are basically having sleepless nights about facing this Lions offense right now. And with Jameson Williams, there's definitely right now kind of an intrigue of a little bit of the unknown, because we've never really seen him at full strength. We've never really seen him fully integrated into this offense. And as of right now, we're almost thinking like, can he be Tyreek Hill? Can he be Jalen Waddle? I'm not necessarily saying he will, but the possibilities are endless, and he has that type of talent.
Right.
We haven't seen very many players in Detroit with this kind of offensive talent. We see guys like Calvin Johnson, obviously, and Barry Sanders. But in terms of talent and speed and elusivity, Jameson Williams is one of very few guys on planet Earth who have it like him.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Jameson, at least from him just making an impact, it's exciting. Like, for me, with J-Mo when he comes back, like, yeah, there's a lot of things, right? And you'd like him to at least show up, show why they drafted him at 12th overall. I get all that, right? He still has to prove it. My point, though, think about how much it impacts the others. Like, you have a guy who consistently can take the top off. They don't have that right now. They have Khalif Raymond, who they can scheme up. You can get him in space. They had Sam Laporta, who took the top off with his 4.5 speed, whatever it was. But you have a guy who consistently threatens opposing secondaries every play, which makes who better? Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though he wants to be more of a deep threat in that intermediate to short passing game. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he makes everybody better. Like, defenses have to respect J-Mo's speed and Jahmyr Gibbs' speed. I think J-Mo just being out there, Lucas, man, the impact he has on everybody. All wideouts.
No, and especially that kind of what I talked about a little bit on Friday on the heavyweights, that Jared Goff, he's almost entering like his villain arc. You know what I mean? Like, he's just pissed off now. Like, he's playing out there possessed. And so now Jared Goff has confidence. He's going to be more willing to take down the field shots. Ben Johnson, now that he sees Jared Goff having more confidence, he's going to have more confidence to open up the playbook and add in wrinkles. Not to mention there's going to be more wrinkles than there were when Jameson Williams was originally suspended. Because you see him in week, 5 now? Instead of week 8, 9. Now you can see, all right, Jameson, he was open there. Let's try this week. Let's try this next week. And then after that, let's try this. Now they have more opportunities to add wrinkles and wrinkles and wrinkles. And when you have a second-year quarterback and coordinator, it's just going to be flowing. The offense is going to be flowing even better than it was before, in my opinion.
And what is it that you say? Like, the stats can't change, or my eyeballs tell me? What's that? What's the say?
Numbers can't tell me that my eyes are wrong.
Like, I get, like, you look at Jameson's NFL career and his production, you're like, okay. But when you watch him, his last year at Alabama, what I see J-Mo did against that Georgia defense, like, before he went down and was hurt, like, he evaporated him. Like he just was unguardable. So again, and that's the closest defense to an NFL defense out there. Now, things a little different. A lot of it's different. The speed and everything adjusting, the chemistry between him and Jared Goff had to be built up as he got into the league. And he didn't really get a whole lot of opportunity of that last year because he was on the sideline throwing a football to himself. But this offseason, he got work with Jared Goff. Those guys were able to work together. So, being patient with Jameson, I think, kind of goes. It's like you got to be patient, but there's only, like, he's had time now. Like, I want production. I expect J-Mo to go out there, make plays, be explosive. Yes, he's going to make an impact even when he doesn't touch the football, but I expect him to get involved. Do I expect 7 catches for 100 yards this week? No. But, man, I expect some plays immediately. That's the type of ability I think J-Mo has. There shouldn't have to be this 5-game wait-around process for him to be groomed. Like, no, J-Mo's ready. Get him out there.
No, that is 100% fair. But at the same time, he gets to come into a game at home versus a winless Carolina Panthers team instead of facing the task of your first game of the season being at Baltimore, which is one of the toughest games of the season for the Lions. Nice. A game that I wouldn't be surprised if they lost. But now you get to have him in this offense more integrated in kind of like within the flow in the game at Baltimore. And hopefully this would be a perfect game, especially against the Carolina Panthers, to maybe, I wouldn't say force the ball to Jameson Williams, but maybe if you get a little bit of a lead, maybe run a little play action, maybe have Jameson Williams running like a deep post or something like that, and just see what happens. Because we want to see Jameson Williams make a big play right away, and I think that he feels like he wants to make a big play and an impact on this offense right away. Because this team at its ceiling will have Jameson Williams being one of their more important offensive pieces, and at their absolute ceiling being one of the more explosive playmakers in the NFL. I'm just glad that this season we get 13 games to see it instead of 11. It was like such a blessing and such an unexpected blessing, and I couldn't be happier to be a Lions fan right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a great week, and you made the argument it's been one of the greater weeks. I mean,
I can't imagine.
Yeah, like everything that's kind of unfolded, to getting J-Mo back, to being 3-1, to your division looking like complete garbage. Everything just keeps getting better for Lions fans, and this was just a kind of a cherry on top there. So again, excited for J-Mo this week. I think you'll see his presence immediately. You'll see the impact. I think you watch the football game this week. We'll see how much he gets involved. I expect him to be involved, and I expect to make an impact. Seriously, there's not, to me at least, a be patient thing with J-Mo. I don't see that. The guy's had plenty of time. Yeah, he hasn't been able to practice, but regardless, he's had training camp. He's had the entire offseason to work with Jared. No. I expect big plays, because we saw it. Every time J-Mo's touched the football, big plays. But can he keep that up? We'll see this week. We'll go to break when we come back. I want to get into Cam Sutton, because I want to kind of inform the people, or educate the people. And if they didn't know, a lot of Lions fans already know how well Cam Sutton's playing, but put it in perspective. Because, you watch Lions, and you might dabble in some other NFL games, but really seeing how much of an impact Cam Sutton's make for the Lions this year, it's remarkable. And comparing him to some of the top corners in the NFL, you're going to want to stick around for this. But first, I got to hear about our friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Absolutely. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Give them a call at 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Ooh. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or as always, order online at fairwaypacking.com.
We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. If you could do us a favor and drop a like on the stream, it helps us, helps the show, and it helps the network. It just helps the algorithm pushing out the morning show. So again, much appreciated. If you can't watch the show live, you can go back and listen. Any podcast platform you get your podcast. Leave a 5-star review. Morning Woodward Show. I want to get to this Cam Sutton stuff because that is the guy, I think, the unsung hero that we don't talk enough about, which is a good thing. I mean, we always say if you don't talk about your number one corner, then you know what, that's usually he's doing something right. I thought it was interesting. Yesterday, I decided, you know what, I want to compare Cam Sutton's, 4 games this year for the Lions to some of the top corners in the NFL. It is just 4 games, but it's still impressive. Lucas, throw up the first, anyone you got, right? And this is the thing, right? You think about Cam Sutton. How does he kind of compare to some of the top corners in the NFL? What about a Patrick Surtain, right? Who I think is that guy, one of the premier corners in the NFL. How does he compare to Cam Sutton? And you look at least their targets. And again, that Denver Broncos defense is a whole nother problem. But regardless, Patrick Surtain, Cam Sutton. How do they compare? Well, you look at Patrick Surtain, at least the advanced and the defensive stats there. He's had 14 targets at Surtain. He's had 18 targets at Sutton. You look at the stats there. Surtain's allowed 7 catches, 50% completion percentage. Well, Cam Sutton's allowed 9 and 18 targets, 50% completion percentage. The same amount, the same completion percentage allowed. Look at TDs. Surtain's allowed 1 TD. Cam Sutton has not allowed a touchdown this year. Those are the comparisons we're dealing with right now. Go to the next one. And that's Surtain, who's a premier corner. Let's go to Darius Slay, former Lion. Look at this year. Look how they're playing. Cam Sutton and Darius Slay. Darius Slay, 22 targets, 14 completions, 63% completion percentage allowed when targeting Darius Slay. That's worse than Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton, 18 targets, 9 completions. Darius Slay's allowed 2 touchdowns. Sutton's allowed 0. And this is just a 4-game sample size, but this is the type of season he's having. And Darius Slay is still referred to as one of the premier corners in the NFL, and he's playing with that defensive line for the Eagles, which is pretty scary. Move to the next one. And we can keep going here. Some of the premier corners. What about Sauce Gardner, who was arguably the best corner last year, and a guy who just keeps improving, keep getting better? What about this year for Sauce Gardner? Look at that. 12 targets, 10 completions. Not having a great start to this year so far. 3 games. This is before last night, of course. We'll see how they update, but in 3 games, 12 targets, 10 completions. 83% completion percentage allowed for Sauce Gardner so far. No touchdowns, but that's worse than Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton's allowing a 50% completion percentage to Sauce Gardner's 83.8. Think about that for a second. With that defensive line.
And DJ Reed on the other side.
And another premier corner on the other side. Let's keep it moving. What about Jair Alexander? You think he's pretty good? Damn good corner.
He would have been good out for them on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, they missed him. Check the stats. 7 targets for Jair Alexander, 2 games, 5 completions, 71.4% completion percentage allowed. Cam Sutton, still 50%. And you could look at context, right? You've had to face Patrick Mahomes. Look at the quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Geno Smith, and then, of course, week 3, it is what it is. Desmond Ridder, not very great, but regardless.
Jair had to play against him, gave up a touchdown in that game.
That is fair. Jair, they faced the same. They faced the Falcons. So this is the kind of season that Cam Sutton's having. Like, this is elite, guys, like for Cam Sutton. Like, he's in his prime. He's 28 years old. He's coming off one of his better seasons. And you go back to when the Lions first signed him. And even last year in 2022, he had a career year. He received a 71.6 overall grade and a 70.4 coverage grade. You look at the completion percentage he had last year on the Steelers, 44.4 completion percentage, tied for 4th lowest in a single season since 2016. So this guy had an elite season last year, kind of went under the radar, came to the Detroit Lions, and he's elite again. And this is a guy, again, is he having an interception a game? No. But he's not allowing completions towards his way. 50% completion percentage for Cam Sutton. I think this guy, and as much as we talk about the defensive line, getting all these sacks, and Jerry Jacobs with 2 picks, like, oh, that's great, and it's impressive, and it means something. But you know what's significant? When your number 1 corner is as reliable as Cam Sutton, and you don't worry about him at all. Cam Sutton's elite, man. He's having an elite year so far through 4 games.
Well, yes, and those numbers that you just gave me, that's just like, spoke straight to.
Read those stats to me, Daddy.
It was just so beautiful.
Run, Flannel.
It was just so beautiful, and that's the thing. You're not saying right now that he's a better corner than any of those players, but I love when you kind of give stats like that and put it into context. That so far, in a lot of ways, he's having a better season than Sauce Gardner. He's having a better season than Pat Surtain. He's having a better season than Jair Alexander, at least when it comes to those numbers, and those are guys that have made All-Pros, who you might even say are the 3 best corners in the NFL, and Cam Sutton is right there with all of them, and at least when it comes to those numbers that you gave, which are very, very significant. And here's the thing that's incredible about what Cam Sutton has done. You don't even really talk about him or think about him when you talk about Detroit Lions defensive players having great seasons. He's had one of the quietest, very good seasons that I've ever seen a Detroit Lions player play. Because when you think of this Lions defense, here's the things you think of before you think of Cam Sutton. You think of the dominant run defense. You think of Aiden Hutchinson. You think of a resurgent Aleem McNeil. You think of Brian Branch in his Defensive Rookie of the Year campaign. You think of Jerry Jacobs in his kind of up and down season, but in the last game having 2 interceptions. You think of all the secondary injuries to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, to Kirby Joseph. Emmanuel Mosley hasn't played yet, which further makes what Cam Sutton has done all the more impressive because he hasn't had his bookend corner at the other end of the field. I mean, Jerry Jacobs has been solid at times, but ideally you would like to have Emmanuel Mosley and Cam Sutton, and that hasn't happened yet in any of the games. And you also think of a guy like Alex Anzalone, you think of Derek Barnes, and then maybe, just maybe after that, then you think of Cam Sutton. But when you really lay out those numbers, when you really look at what he's done, he's only allowed an 82.8 passer rating when targeted, which kind of furthers the numbers that you gave. Cam Sutton has, when you have a number 1 corner who can shut down half the field, he hasn't completely shut down half the field, but he's done way, way more than enough, especially with a 50% completion percentage allowed and only allowed 9 receptions this season. That's a little bit more than 2 per game, and he hasn't allowed a touchdown yet. So Cam Sutton, I think he has been everything that we could have wanted him to be and more, and this defense as a whole is playing at a level that we are very, very happy about. And Cam Sutton has been one of the quietest great contributors of this defense, and what you really just laid out there just kind of shows it, especially when you put his numbers up against some of the elite of the elite. Cam Sutton's right up there.
Yeah, he is, and that's the whole point of this discussion, right? Is he, look at the receivers he's faced. Again, you open up against Kansas City. Yeah, they didn't have Travis Kelce, but still, if he was torched and he didn't play well, he'd be getting talked about. But he did.
Yes.
So now everyone just says, well, he's supposed to play well. No, I'm not with that. I think if you play well, you deserve credit, and he did. Now, his worst game was against Seattle. He had 7 targets his way and allowed 5 completions for 71.4% completion percentage, but that was the whole defense. They just didn't play well in general. And you look at the rest of the corners that I kind of brought up there: Darius Slay, Sauce Gardner, Jair, Surtain. You can make an argument he plays on the most unproven defensive line, right? Sauce with Quinn and Williams and the rest of those guys. Like Jair, even the talent the Packers have. Pretty good defensive line. Patrick Surtain, Broncos defense, but regardless, you move on. Darius Slay with the fit and the Eagles and what they have. You talk about what helps your secondary, a significant pass rush. Well, the Lions, as unproven as they are, they've been getting after the quarterback the last 2 weeks. It's been helping Cam Sutton. Brian Branch has been solid. And don't worry, I'll get to Brian Branch later in the week because that's another guy I do want to cover and break down. I was going to do Aiden Hutchinson as well, like kind of compare these guys to top of their position, because there's a lot of players you can go through for the Lions for that. But I think Cam Sutton, and the deal you got him on, a 3-year, $33 million deal to be your number 1 corner in his prime, is looking like a steal. And I think as it goes on next year and the year following, it's going to look even better. Like, this is a guy that you don't worry about, and you brought it up, Sam Flannel. He doesn't even have his number 2 corner next to him.
No, he doesn't.
He's got Jerry Jacobs, who's been solid. He's also had some bad games as well. He's kind of been up and down, but that should, make him worse. They don't have anybody on the other end you could consistently trust, and they don't throw Cam Sutton's way, which is impressive. That means something. It's like Sauce Gardner. He only had, a handful of picks last year, and Lucas and me were always brought up. Tariq Woolen had a better year, but they were never throwing at Sauce Gardner. Like, that's impressive. When you make the offense go away from you. That's what Cam Sutton does.
And you know what else Cam Sutton does, Jeff? And we should have played it coming out of the break, but this right here, this is why I love Cam Sutton so much, because not only does he play like that off the field, but this is what he does inside the locker room.
That's a great win today. Great win today. That's just a start for us, though. We got to keep building. But you know what time it is. We starting up in the division. Let's go. We in the division this week, and we got to set the tone. Set the tone. What better way to go in somebody else's backyard and set the tone? Take care of your bodies. Come in tomorrow. Let's ready to work. Let's get family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
He does it all.
And you know what he did?
What'd he do?
He set the tone. When you do this to the Packers' best playmaker, coming off the edge on a triple option, that is how you set the tone. Cam Sutton, And like you guys already said, and I don't have to keep preaching over and over again, no Emmanuel Mosley. He's only going to get better, but this guy is amazing in the run and in the pass game, and he's doing this with 2 weeks, arguably with little defensive pressure on the quarterback. And as much as we love Brian Branch, I can promise you that Cam Sutton has to do a lot with Brian Branch's success. Not saying that Brian Branch wouldn't have success, but the fact that you have a rookie out there playing on that level, I guarantee half the time he's like, just making sure with Cam. Cam is no doubt the veteran presence in that locker room. He's the leader of this defense outside of Alex Anzalone and Aiden Hutchinson. And I think this guy's just going to keep improving. And when Emmanuel Mosley comes back, wait till you see how much better he looks. Because when you have another guy, because you're going to have Jerry Jacobs going to the cornerback 3. Kirby Joseph's going to come back. Emmanuel Mosley coming back. He's holding down the secondary right now outside of Brian Branch, and I can't wait to see more of him.
Yeah, you talk about all the traits that Cam Sutton possesses. Reliable. He's consistent. You bring up his leadership qualities, like the football IQ, tackling ability. Like he's a complete corner. Now, I saw Brandon Katz kind of say he's not a number 1, he's a number 2. He's playing like a number 1.
He's playing above his ceiling.
He's playing like that's the thing though. Like he's playing like a number 1. I just brought up number 1 corners and showed you them with better defensive lines, and he's playing better. Like, with less talent around him. That means something. And that's, coaching's helped that whole defense and that defensive line. I think, Aaron Glenn's been putting those guys in good positions, but Cam Sutton's position is one-on-one. Like, make a play, don't allow a catch. And Cam Sutton's been doing that. 50% completion percentage allowed. That's elite.
And he's coming over from Pittsburgh, too, where he's damn near doing the same thing. Mike Tomlin was a DB's coach. That's how he got his foot into the NFL, into the head coaching spot. So the fact that he has Mike Tomlin behind him, too, like, when Cam Sutton was in Pittsburgh, he had no other lockdown corner besides him. So he's pretty much in the same spot, and he just brings just more IQ and more ability just to sniff out plays, just like he did on that play against Aaron Jones. So the fact that he's on this team for 3 years and, I believe it's like $33 million or $36 million, something like that. We got him on a deal. Mm-hmm. Brad's cooking. Brad continues to cook.
I want to see some of these comments. Steve says, I think people are sleeping on Mosley. He could take the defense to a whole new level, and he also has that trash talk factor. I'm pumped for him. Undoctrine says, I liked Sutton since Tennessee Vols. I know how good he is. And that's the big thing, too, because him and Emmanuel Mosley were teammates.
Yeah,
so there's the chemistry. Chuck Brewer says, Jeff, if you want a good take, just flip whatever Katz says. That's fair. And some of the other things, Coach Walk 37 says, that's a bad take, Lucas, because it makes too much sense.
Indeed, yeah.
Justin O says, is Mosley back this week? I hope so.
You'd imagine so.
I've been saying that for weeks.
I'm not going to be mad if he sits out against Carolina. Same thing with Brian Branch. Brian Branch fucked up his ankle. Sit Brian Branch, please. Because I think Kirby's coming back. If you want to play Mosley, that's great. But this is a game where the Lions are going to be pissed off because they remember last year. They're getting J-Mo back. I think they got a lot of momentum. Don't take the air out of the sail and risk a huge injury. So I'm not going to be mad if Emmanuel Mosley or Brian Branch doesn't play, especially when you have Baltimore in 2 weeks.
And there you go. Just to read this one, Brandon Katz, Sutton only guarded one top receiver, Metcalf, and he had help over the top against Metcalf. Well, Jerry Jacobs was on Metcalf for a majority of that football game. And he didn't play well.
Stupid. They were guarding both Metcalf and Lockett. On their last play where Lockett scored, actually Cam Sutton was on coverage, and they ran a little zig route, and they ran him under the 2 wide receivers. So Sutton had to go over top. Lockett went right back out. So then Brian Branch tried to pick him up. They're not following a receiver right now.
Well, here's the other problem with that too, because you talk about the defensive line and the pressure they got in that game 0. They didn't really pressure. The only sack was Anzalone, and that was kind of a gimme sack. So no pressure, and you're getting cooked already as it is. Sutton didn't play well, but the whole defense didn't play well. They didn't. So that game is, to me, an anomaly. The 3 of the 4 games he's played extremely well. I like to use that as evidence to support that. Speakeasy says, let me hide him again, Jeff. Come on. Well, that's up to the people. People can vote on that. I don't have it. It's the chat, the people talking there. If you guys want to hide him, go ahead. I don't really give a damn. Let's go to break here. When we get back, I do want to get into the NFC North and the NFC in general. Where do the Lions stack up? And we'll see, because they have the next 4 games are pretty favorable. And we could talk about a 6-2 start here for the Detroit Lions, maybe even a 7-1. Who knows? We'll discuss that when we come back. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at Big Boy, because burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy, and it's burger time. Try the best cheeseburgers or the new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. If you're craving chicken, they got it too. Upgrade your fries, and they also have dessert, Reese's Chocolate Peanut Butter Thunder Cake, or they got their funnel cake fries. All that and more at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Let's talk about Outdoor Equipment Company, official equipment provider of Woodward Sports.
Outdoor.
Michigan-grown, family-owned bad boy mowers, tractors, STYL handhelds, and even weed whippers. Liberty trailers, generators, Snow X plows, and salters. Outdoor Equipment Co. has it all. Buy it, rent it, 0% financing, delivery to your doorstep. All you have to do is order. Visit their website at outdoorequipco.com.
We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. I appreciate you guys for joining the show. It means a ton. We just got done talking about Cam Sutton. I do want to move the conversation, stay with the Lions, but kind of talk about the NFC North, the NFC in general, where they shape up. We'll break all the games down that we kind of got to see over the weekend in the NFC North and in the NFL in general. But right now I want to focus on what you've seen from the Lions through 4 games. They're 3-1. They lead their division. They look like a playoff team. They look like one of their better teams in the conference. But the confidence level you have, right? We saw Philly and what they did. Go to OT against the Washington Commanders this week. Sam Howell, Lucas's guy.
He looked good. Everybody counted him out, said he was done. And I understand that they lost. But Sam Howell's a legit NFL quarterback, I'm telling you.
Okay. All right. I that's fine. Legit NFL quarterback.
I don't think he's going to be like a top 5, but he'll be a top 15 quarterback in the league one day.
Okay.
15. Okay, maybe.
That's fair. All right, well, you saw Dallas completely destroy the Patriots. Like, you've seen the NFC and how it looks. The San Francisco 49ers taking care of business. Brock Purdy with 1 incompletion. But your confidence level, Sam Flannel, I'll start with you. Where do the Lions shape up in the NFC?
All right, in the NFC right now, I would say that they are the clear number 3 because you obviously have to give a lot of respect to Philadelphia and to San Francisco. And I personally think the way this season is shaping out, the division that they play in, I think the San Francisco 49ers will be the number 1 seed in the NFC because I'm just looking at the Philadelphia Eagles right now at their schedule. I have it pulled up, and also given the fact that their secondary has looked very, very shaky, and that's being generous. And Jalen Hurts, although he played very, very well last week, has never quite looked like Jalen Hurts of last year. But listen to this. From week 11 to week 15, the Philadelphia Eagles have at Kansas City, home Buffalo, home San Francisco, at Dallas, and at Seattle. That might be I would say that's a 3-2 stretch at best, maybe even 2-3, although given the fact that it's the Eagles and it's everybody else's one of their tougher games, maybe 3-2. And I would say that the Lions' schedule down the stretch kind of shapes out a little bit more favorably. I'm thinking right now when it comes to the NFC in the Detroit Lions, they definitely right now to me are as close to a lock as the NFC North as you can possibly be, although I'm not quite ready to declare that over just yet, although it's close. But I will say this though, this is something that's very, very sneaky and maybe people should have their antennas up just a little bit. That game at Tampa Bay is all of a sudden looking to be a bigger game than we could have ever have envisioned because Tampa Bay they're going to be coming off of a bye. They're going to be 3-1. The Detroit Lions are most likely going to be 4-1. And is the game at Tampa Bay, the fucking Baker Mayfield-led Buccaneers, is that actually going to be for seeding?
It could be.
That's what's insane about it all. So I guess the reality is I think the Lions, their ceiling is the 2 seed in the NFC right now. They're definitely going to win the NFC North, but they better take care of business when they play Tampa Bay, because they could be staring down a 4 seed if they're not careful. I don't think it's likely, but it could happen.
And the next 4 games are significant for the NFC because the Eagles, they got a tough schedule coming up. And they have 1 loss so far, and you look at where they stack up in the NFC. Well, I'll tell you, over the last 14 games, the Lions are 11-3. 11-3. And that goes back to last season. 8-2 down the stretch, a 3-1 to start the year. That's significant. And the whole thing was, well, that the wins don't carry over. Well, the Lions are carrying over. They're 3-1. They're still one of the better teams. And you talk about who can match up with the Lions. The teams I fear the most, or at least I'm skeptical about, 2 teams. The 49ers and the Eagles. That's it. Because you look at in the trenches, that's the strong suit of the Lions, where they've built their football team, the foundation of their team, offensive line, defensive line. The only 2 teams that I fear are the 49ers and the Eagles. The Dallas Cowboys still have Dak Prescott at quarterback, so there's questions there, but they still look like a pretty good team. You look at, there's the record. Thank you for that, Lucas. Best records in the NFL since week 9 of last season. Look at the teams you're in, like the at least the realm you're in. The Bengals have not looked great this season. They're struggling.
They might be done.
They might be done. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. We'll see. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts does not look like Jalen Hurts last year, Sam, to your point. He doesn't. Like, something's wrong. I don't know if it's a Shane Steichen effect or what, but they don't look. They're winning, but it's by a smidge, and we'll see how that lasts. The Lions look great. And yeah, they dropped a close one to the Seattle Seahawks, of course. But regardless, they've beaten who's in front of them. They beat the Chiefs to open up the season. I don't give a damn that Chris Jones and Travis Kelce were out. They beat them on the road. The Lions, to me, you look at the NFC, I would say they're a top 3 team right now, top 4 if you want to say, well, the Seahawks beat you, fair, whatever. They're top 3, top 4, which by my definition, I have to be consistent, they're a contender. If you're one of the better teams in your conference, you're a contender. They're going to make the playoffs. You're not worried about the NFC North. I mean, how the Vikings and Bears and the Packers looked last Thursday, it's not about the NFC North. Like, when I say it's a new era in Detroit Lions football, I'm talking about your expectations change. So, like, the playoff win is always my expectation. I think they can do that, given how the NFC's shaping up. Lucas, the Lions are one of the better teams in their conference. And you're talking about how they match up with other teams, defensive line, offensive line, quarterback. You talk about quarterback. I think Jared Goff could be arguably, if not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC this year, how he's playing.
Absolutely.
So you're good at quarterback. Offensive line, only behind Philly, I think, in the NFC. And then you talk about defensive line. They look good. Secondary solid. They don't have too many weaknesses, Lucas. And they're getting Jameson Williams back this week.
Just to your point, that's what they say. They're going to reload, too. They're going to get Kirby Joseph has been out. Emmanuel Mosley has been out this whole season. Now they're getting Jameson Williams back. All those other teams, you can't say that they're going to reload with more talent. And if you just look on this week alone, the Cowboys and 49ers play this Sunday. That's going to be I can promise you I'm putting all the money I have on Christian McCaffrey over in rushing yards. If the Arizona Cardinals out of the NFC West ran through the Dallas Cowboys, I can promise you the 49ers are. So then you have the Lions coming out this week, most likely 4-1.
Yep.
Eagles are probably going to be 4-1 as well. But if you watch the Eagles, to Oliver point, they don't have any. I wouldn't say they have an identity yet, except for getting after the pass rush or getting after the quarterback. Like, their identity is strictly in their defense. They try to run the ball, but then again, how can you rely on DeAndre Swift for 17 weeks? We don't know yet. Lions fans, we know, but Eagles fans, they don't know yet. The Cowboys, they don't have an identity either. They're just handed off to Tony Pollard and feed CeeDee Lamb. You shut down one of those, their offense is fucked. Their offense has no chance because then you have to rely on Dak Prescott making crucial decisions in quick time, and that's how they lose games. So when you look at it, I think it's clearly Niners are 1. There's no other way around it.
Yep.
But then tier 2, I think you could go with the draw between the Eagles, Lions, or the Cowboys, because every team on their best day can beat the other one. You can't just go, oh, Philly would beat Detroit hands down. You can't say that. They were just in a close divisional game with the Commanders, and the Lions blew out their divisional opponent in Lambeau. Philly was at home. So same thing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys lost to the goddamn Cardinals. So
in that Philly team, man, it's sus to me. Like,
it is.
Like, that pass defense isn't really what it was. Like, I showed you the Darius Slay stats. He's not really having the year he had last year. There's question marks with Philly.
I can tell you why, because they got Reed Blankenship back there instead of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And Reed Blankenship's an okay player, but for the fact of just creating turnovers, making your cornerbacks' lives easier, when you have C.J. Gardner-Johnson back there last year, the deep shots... There's going to be a lot more trouble trying to throw deep on the Eagles last year than there is this year. So when you talk about Jameson Williams being back and the Eagles being kind of weakened at safety, Yeah, I'm going to be a lot more confident about the Lions going into Philadelphia or Philadelphia coming in Detroit this year than last year.
And do I think Philly's a bad team? No, but I think
No.
that the playing field's more even than it was last year, I think, for Detroit matching up with Philly. 49ers are unquestionably the best team. I'm with you. They're the team that's really the team to beat. Philly is as well, of course. They made the Super Bowl, but on paper, the 49ers are stacked.
Yeah.
Stacked everywhere. So that argument is fair. I like this comment, and I'll let Sam kind of react to this one because I agree. I mean, this is the great way to look at it. Hoof-hearted. Lions wouldn't be favored against the Eagles or 49ers right now, but they would have a legit shot to beat those teams any given Sunday.
Yep.
And what you saw over the last couple weeks from the Detroit Lions, and Jared Goff said it best, that team and what they do best can travel. Like I said, the offensive line, the run game travels. The defensive line travels. Like their offense and what they want to do, it travels. It's not like a one-dimensional offense that, in certain types of weather can't work out. Dome, outdoors, doesn't matter. They could travel. And I like the Lions' chances right now against any of those teams. 49ers, you're probably a little more hesitant, but the Lions they're a good football team. It's real.
Yeah, and I think what the Lions have done, or at least what they've done thus far early in the season, especially with going to Green Bay, not the best Green Bay team, but still a divisional rival that was 2-1, basically decapitating them on their own home field on Thursday Night Football, is the Lions have given themselves. They basically earned the right for us not to have a ceiling on what they can do. They could beat any single team in the NFC. I wouldn't pick them against San Francisco, especially at San Francisco, but still, on any given day, the Lions could beat them. Philadelphia, they've looked vulnerable at times. I mean, they're still 4-0, but still, they haven't been as dominant as they were last year. And their defense, especially in the secondary, has been a little leaky. And then I forgot to mention the Dallas Cowboys. I'm higher on them than some, but I don't think they're going to win the NFC East. And that's the problem. That's kind of the curse of being in that division, is it's very, very tough to make a deep playoff run as a wild card team. And certainly the Lions, they'll get their chance to play Dallas later on into the season at Dallas, and we'll kind of see how they stack up. It could be a game that is for seeding if the Dallas Cowboys can overtake the Eagles in the NFC East. It's going to be a big game, and we're going to get to see. And then I guess we'll really see what the Lions are made of once the playoffs come along. But they've earned the benefit of us not limiting their ceiling. We're not talking about like all they could do is one playoff win. One playoff win is the expectation. It's, I mean, especially since their first playoff game will very much more than likely be at home. That's the expectation. And then from there, you just never know. The Lions have shown and proved a lot, I would say, definitely with their wins at Arrowhead and Lambeau.
Yeah, two tough. If you look at all the contenders, all the best teams in the NFL, look at their first 4 games. And for some, it's 3 until tonight. But regardless, you look at their first 4 games or the amount of games they've played. The Lions at Kansas City, facing Seattle, at Lambeau Field. They've been they faced adversity. We'll just say that. And they've overcame it. Like, that deserves credit. Now, Seattle, they lost, but regardless, they fought like hell. And honestly, a couple things go differently. They win that football game. But still, they've had a tough schedule to start the year. And they're 3-1. Like, that deserves credit. So, for people pointing out, well, they beat the Falcons, I don't give a damn. They beat who's in front of them, and they took care of them. And they blew out the Packers on the road. Yeah. So the Lions are real. I do believe that. And they're one of the better teams in the NFC. We'll see how it shapes up. The next 4 games are big for seeding. Maybe they could chase down the number 1 seed. We'll see how it plays out if they're healthy. And they got guys coming back, to Lucas's point. So, and then maybe later in the year, when everything's going well, you just kind of sprinkle on C.J. Gardner-Johnson on this team. Maybe he returns. They're still light at the end of the tunnel for Lions
There's still
fans.
a trade deadline, and Brad Holmes still has money in his pocket, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, we'll go to break. When we get back, we'll preview some games around the NFL. We'll talk about the NFC North, what we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like, and so much more. But first, Sam Flannel, could you tell the people about Swiss Insurance?
Oh, 100%. Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is going to be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Again.
Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Abby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, I was told it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in over 30 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of them, you're missing out. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Use code Woodward. Glorious. www.gloriouscanna.com. Glorious. I love that drop. We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. And we just got done talking about the Lions, where they hold up in the NFC, the NFC North. Let's go around the NFL. It was an interesting weekend. Lions didn't play, which was nice. You got to celebrate a win early on Thursday. You got to kind of see how the NFL played out over the weekend. And some interesting things happened, right? A lot of blowouts, too.
Yeah.
You guys didn't notice. A lot of one-sided football games. I mean, it started in London. The Jaguars kind of decimating the Falcons, kind of beating them like the Lions did, 23-7. You had the Bills destroying the Dolphins. By the way, still the Bills division.
Yep.
Right now, yeah. That was a convincing win, too.
How about them Bills, Lucas?
Hey, I'm not going to hate. I'm not like, there's nothing to hate. That was a great game. I still like the Dolphins to win that division, though.
Okay.
1 week doesn't change anything.
All right. Bills undefeated on the road. How about and before we get to the Bears and everything, because trust me, we're going to get to the Bears and the Vikings. The Ravens, Lamar, against that Jim Schwartz defense.
Dude, he looked good. I don't care if DTR didn't play. Lamar
I don't give
good.
a damn about what the Browns did offensively. I'm talking about defensively.
With no, you're talking.
Yeah, like screw DTR playing. I'm talking about what Lamar did to Jim Schwartz's defense.
With no Rashad Bateman or Odell Beckham, and no J.K. Dobbins.
Pretty impressive. Ravens are still a play. I'm telling you, you go on the road to the Ravens. It's a good football team. Yeah. That's a good test for the Lions. What else happened too? The Bengals got destroyed by the Titans. Sam Flannel. I know you tweeted this out too. Joe Burrow stinks right now. He stinks. And there's no way around that. I'm not even going to be one of those TV talking heads who come out and try and debate why Joe Burrow, poor Joe Burrow, he's banged up. He's got a hamstring injury, but the Bengals stink. You got Jamar Chase coming out after the locker room. What'd he say? He's like, I'm always open.
Yeah.
I'm always open.
I'm always fucking open.
Like, okay, Jamar Chase, but your team scored 3 points.
Yeah. I mean,
what's going on with the Bengals?
You know, if this were any other quarterback in the NFL, we'd be questioning Joe Burrow's leadership or anything like that, that his number one wide receiver, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, is popping off like that, because that is a bad look. I will say this about Joe Burrow. I know I've been a little bit rough on him because I had to hear for a long time that Joe Burrow was actually the best quarterback in the NFL, that he was Joe Cool, Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow. And a lot of it, you know what? Joe Burrow, for a long time, I was willing to concede that he was the second best quarterback in the NFL. But I think finally it's time that people are ready to criticize Joe Burrow for his morbid play this season. And I get it. He has not been at 100%. There's some conversation of whether or not he should be on the field or not. But I will say this. Joe Burrow is not the only quarterback in NFL history to play hurt. And at this point, I would say he's almost hurting his team by being out there, because I'm going to give you some numbers when it comes to Joe Burrow this season. Joe Burrow has a lower passer rating at 69.1 than Zach Wilson and Desmond Ridder. He has less passing yards this season, 728, than Josh Dobbs and Justin Fields. He has a lower completion percentage than every quarterback besides Jordan Love and Anthony Richardson at 57.6%. He has the least amount of passing touchdowns of any starting quarterback at 2, and the Bengals are last in the NFL in points per game at 12.3. The Bengals are absolutely terrible. They have been the most disappointing team in the NFL by far. And Joe Burrow, at this point, if I were him, I would just, I didn't want him to be this bad because the NFL needs a guy like Joe Burrow, and I do believe that he has the talent to be the second, third best quarterback in the NFL. But right now, we have to knock him off that list. You gotta put Josh Allen right back into the second best quarterback in the NFL.
I agree.
Talking like rankings because of the 5 touchdowns that he accounted for in a 48-20 Buffalo Bills win. People were kind of putting dirt on his gravestone, I would say, a little bit too soon. But Joe Burrow, it's been bad. It's been about as bad of a season as you could possibly have envisioned for him.
Yeah, it's been rough for the Bengals. They fall to 1-3, only scored 3 points, which, man, and they scored in the first quarter and donuts all throughout the football game. Moving on, Rams took care of the Colts, and that was an interesting game. Stafford came up clutch in overtime. Puka Nacua is arguably on track to be like...
Dude's on meth right now playing out there.
He's on track to he has a better start. I just saw this, a better start than Kelvin and Cooper did, breaking the records they broke.
Damn.
As a rookie.
Crazy.
Guess what all those wide receivers had in common? I'll leave Lucas to decide that one.
You already know.
Let's move on there. Matt Stafford, their quarterback, just giving you the hint there. Buccaneers, though, took care of the Saints. 26-9, absolutely decimated the Saints. Derek Carr playing with a bad shoulder. He looked like it. He looked bad. And the Saints did in
another
general.
One where it's like, why did you put him out there?
Yeah.
It's like, you could say, and I'm not trying to go back to the conversation, but the whole Joe Burrow thing. Why was Joe Burrow out there week 1? Why was Joe Burrow with the bad O-line, and then you send him into Tennessee with the bad O-line who every time they play the Bengals gives Joe Burrow absolutely 0 time. So it's like you have an injured quarterback whose offense isn't playing well, defense isn't playing well, and you send him out there to die. And you could say the same exact thing with the Saints here against the Buccaneers.
And by the way, and I know Booner and Easy, and not Easy is actually fair, but Booner's like, I tried telling you about Josh Allen.
Oh my!
Josh Allen was not the second best quarterback until this season when Joe Burrow stinks. Now he's the second best. If you thought Joe Burrow's better than Josh Allen. He was last year. He was the following year.
Right now, you have to give it to Josh
Allen
because Josh Allen's balling out.
Yeah.
He's playing probably the best football of his career. But to take a victory lap,
that's my problem.
Joe Burrow, one playing hurt, one T. Higgins now being hurt in back-to-back games, offensive line playing terrible, defense playing terrible.
Yeah,
to just take a victory lap, go ahead, but you're not standing on that much of a hill. You could have said Lamar Jackson was a better quarterback than Joe Burrow, and you could be taking a victory lap right now.
Yeah, and again, he deserved to be laughed at, at the time he said it. But now, of course, Booner, you're right, because of the circumstances. But regardless, the Eagles and the Commanders, DeAndre Swift, by the way, followed up a fantastic performance, 14 carries for 56 yards. And again, he's RB1 over there in Philly. He's RB1 over there in Philly, almost 400 yards on the year through 4 games for DeAndre Swift. All right, DeAndre. He was second in the NFL in rushing yards. I don't know how that shapes up. We'll get a check-in on that. But regardless, Booner, he says the disrespect from Jeff and Lucas continues. Regardless, let's move on. I want to bring up this game specifically because I knew it was time to kind of talk about it with Lucas here. But how about C.J. Stroud? How about C.J. Stroud taking care of that Steelers defense? Another 300 yards. Another 300 yards from C.J. Stroud. Has more career 300-yard games. 300-yard games. Passing yard games than Justin Fields. Through 4 career games. 4. And when Justin Fields did it, we all rejoiced. He did. Oh, wow, Justin Fields threw for over 300 yards. It's a big deal. C.J. Stroud's done it twice for a worse situation. Shout out to C.J. Stroud. It's almost like someone knew this was coming, Lucas. Isn't that crazy? It's almost like someone tried telling you that C.J. Stroud was actually good. That's just odd to me.
What is he doing? I cannot wait.
Isn't that weird?
I mean, at this point in the season, C.J. Stroud is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. No, I mean, either him or Puka Nacua, I would say for sure. But C.J. Stroud he's been exemplary. He's been the best rookie quarterback by far. Lucas, I saw you wrote something down.
I am a fucking idiot about C.J. Stroud.
Oh,
this can be the take that everybody, when I'm like, oh, ball, no, or you can throw the C.J. Stroud take out there because not only is he proving me wrong, he's turned me into a fucking fan. I mean, what it was is every day after practice for the weekday, he has his team over there for dinner. He invites the whole Texans offense over to his house for dinner. You saw how that just translates. Their chemistry is off the charts. Nico Collins, your boy, Flannel, 7 catches, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. He went up against a good Pittsburgh front seven with T.J. Watt, which would have made most rookie quarterbacks shit themselves. And every week, C.J. Stroud has proved me wrong. I have no hill to stand on. There's literally nothing I can say where it's like, yeah, we don't know yet. It's too early to tell. And again, I said the same thing when he looked iffy week 1. I was like, it's too early to tell. But since then, man, C.J. Stroud right now is a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, just in week 4, without a doubt. Like, I don't think he's top 10 just yet, but he's damn near on his way. If he keeps playing how he has through the first 4 weeks, he will finish the season as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I don't doubt it.
Yeah, he's balling over there, man. He is. And CJ, even the whole Ohio State quarterback narrative, and people try, all the professionals, the guys that I listen to, Joel Klatt, who does a great job, they all had a consistent point. It was, this guy's different. Like, he's not every Ohio State quarterback. He might be the one to make it. He might be the one to kind of change that narrative, and I seconded that. I did. I agreed with that take. But also there's a part of me was like, I'm curious what he does in Houston. It's a bad situation. And Sam Flannel, he's looked good so far. 0 interceptions on the season.
Absolutely. And he is 4th in the NFL in passing yards right now. And Nico Collins, his number 1 wide receiver, is 5th in the NFL in receiving yards. And with Nico Collins there, the situation isn't quite as bad as maybe we would have envisioned because, and you can all vouch for this, I'm not trying to take a victory lap. It's early in the season. But I predicted a breakout season for Nico Collins. I predicted he'd have over 1,000 yards. And now he's on pace for over 1,800 through 4 games because, and I know this is going to...
Could you imagine if Nico Collins is an 1,800-yard wide receiver?
Well, because Nico Collins to me, and I know this is going to sound like a very like Flannel Sammy stat, but like Nico Collins was the best wide receiver I'd ever seen to never have a great season in college or pros. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, even DPJ too.
Yes. But I would say Nico Collins has overtaken Donovan Peoples-Jones because Nico Collins is about to have his first great season this year.
Yeah, you were right about Nico Collins. Yes. He's a dog. And to kind of move on here to some of the other things that just happened around the NFL before, I want to get to the NFC North. Let's talk about the Bears. Let's talk about the Vikings when we come back.
Let's.
We'll do it when we come back because, the Bears.
We can take a minute on that one. We can take a minute on that one.
Chicago Bears. We'll talk about that when we come back.
How did you lose to the Denver Broncos?
Dude, that was bad. That was bad.
I forgot about that kid, James Droz. Remember him after every game? New York Jets, what happened? How did you lose to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, that's the Bears fans are, and you got some. We'll get to some what's trending with Lucas later, and you got some funny stuff to get to.
We got them and a Packers fan.
Oh, I can't wait.
Ryan Shazier looking Patriots fan.
Oh, jeez. All right, let me tell you about our friends over at Planet Fitness. I was out of pocket. Let me tell you about our friends over at Planet Fitness because it is the home of the judgment-free zone where anybody, and I mean anybody, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes. And by the way, for more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or www.planetfitness.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Academy Award! Brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field that can also be used for 7-on-7 football. They got tons of other features, including free breakfast and lunch, small classroom sizes, and so much more. Enroll your child today at academywarren.net. Wow. A lot more to get to. NFC North games playing out over the weekend, too. Chicago Bears threw a big lead against Sean Payton and the Broncos. And by the way,
28 or 21 points?
21.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, they were playing really well, too. And even, like, I think Justin Fields through, like, that stretch had, like, one incompletion.
He's 24 or 25 or
He
something
was
like
balling
that.
and had over 300 yards, four TDs. And I think he had 3 TDs, actually, at that point. Couple beautiful throws, like running towards the line of scrimmage, jump past to Cole Kmet. Guy was playing backyard football out there, and I'm thinking to myself, man, Fields like needed this game. He's playing really well, and this is after the whole Lions comment, right? We could be the Lions of last year, and I said it was not a good idea to say that because you put a microscope on yourself. Like, when you say things like that, it's okay to say, like, oh, our focus is to improve, start getting some wins. Like, even I said, I think the Bears can be better as the season goes on. You know, they can maybe win a couple games later in the season. But when you say things like that, you put yourself under a microscope, and boy, did it. Yeah. Fields had the opportunity to win that football game and threw it right away.
Man.
Threw a pick. A bad pick, too. Like a bad one.
After the fumble, too.
After the fumble.
So Jonathan Cooper, who was Ohio State Buckeye when Justin Fields was there, too.
It was so bad. Like, in watching the game, I'm thinking, wow, like, the Bears are going to beat the Broncos, and this is a bad look for Sean Payton. Like, it is. Like, that defense. And Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph needs to be just fired. I mean, just like right now, today. Like, just fire him, please. And I'm not even a Broncos fan, but that defense is awful.
It's fallen off.
Awful. Like, yeah, even the personnel they have, like, Justin Fields was carving them up for a majority of that game. And then Denver scores 17 in the fourth quarter to come back from behind on a game-winning field goal. And then, of course, Justin Fields had an opportunity and just threw that football game away. So, again, the Bears stink. And they're in a position right now, Sam Flannel, to have the 1 and 2 overall pick this year. That's what it's looking like.
I'm not kidding when I say this right now. The Bears are going winless. I'm dead serious at this point because there is just nothing. This team is allergic to winning football games. Think about this. Justin Fields played the best game of his life for, I would say, a full 3 quarters, maybe 3.5 quarters. He finished the game with 335 yards and 4 touchdowns. He had some turnovers, more on those later. Khalil Herbert gave you over 100 yards on almost 6 yards per carry. DJ Moore gave you $131 and a touchdown, and Cole Kmet gave you 85 and 2 touchdowns, and they still lost. And they also had a 28-7 lead with about a minute left in the third quarter. I think they scored with 4 minutes left, and then in the third quarter, and they had a 28-7 lead. And then their defense, the Bears defense does what the Bears defense does. Doesn't look anything improved despite all the additions they've made. They give up 2 quick touchdowns. But then Justin Fields, they're driving around. They're kind of driving down the field. It looks like they might, drive down to at least kick a field goal and put the game away. And then, of course, like Justin Fields always does, he does this more times than any quarterback I've ever seen. He commits one of the worst turnovers you'll ever see. It gets returned for a touchdown. Doesn't Justin Fields seem to do that more than any player in NFL history?
Probably once a game.
Absolutely. Because, think about this. I'm just going to name 4 off the top of my head. That fumble that was returned for a touchdown that tied the game, in which, at the absolute worst, just take the sack and live to fight another day. No, he decided to try to play hero. He fumbles. It's returned for a touchdown. He throws that pick 6 to Shaq Barrett when they have a chance to go down and at least tie the game. He throws that pick 6 to Quay Walker when the Bears are technically still in the game, and that pretty much was all she wrote after that. And then even last year, what was the biggest reason why the Lions were able to beat the Bears at Chicago? Because Justin Fields threw one of the worst pick 6s I've ever seen in my life to Jeff Okudah, and that ended up tying the game. And without that play, the Lions probably don't win that game. And then Justin Fields, of course, like he always does, the Broncos go down, they kick a field goal. The Bears have one last drive to maybe tie the game or take the lead, and Justin Fields does what he always does. Throws an interception and has never had a clutch moment in his life. So the Chicago Bears, if I'm a Bears fan right now, I'm not waking up for work today.
Yeah, no, it's a rough.
You are trash!
It's a rough day for Chicago Bears fans. And again, for Vikings fans to get their first win against the Carolina Panthers in a game where Kirk Cousins threw a pick 6 early, and I thought they might have lost that game.
Did you see Kirk Cousins get just absolutely lit up on that play?
No, I did not.
Go back and watch that pick 6 and watch number 29 for the Carolina Panthers. It's like when Budda Baker or when DK Metcalf saw Budda Baker running down the sideline, he's like, I'm going to chase him down. The Carolina Panthers DB was at like the 5-yard line and saw Kirk.
Yeah, that's bad.
And he just watch. If you watch that play, it'll make your day better. Just watch Kirk Cousins get absolutely blown up at like the 5-yard line before throwing a 99-yard pick six. It'll make your day.
And I want to ask the people on this, because this is how I feel at least, and I don't know if I'm the only one who feels this way. Part of me is happy the Bears stink. Again, there's always that Lions fan that comes out where you're like, yeah, the Bears stink, as they should. The Vikings stink, as they should. But then there's the part of me where it's like, I hope they don't get Caleb Williams. I hope they don't stink that bad. And I hope Caleb Williams doesn't declare for the draft, knowing where his destination could be. I hope he returns back to USC.
If he doesn't want to play in Arizona, which is like 50 miles from USC, obviously it's longer than that, but he's not going to want to play in Chicago. When has Chicago ever had a good quarterback?
Never.
And I'm being completely serious. Like, Caleb Williams is a very talented player, but the fact that he might go to Chicago makes me a little less worried about Caleb Williams, because at some point, organizations, when they can't figure it out, it doesn't matter who they have, they can't figure it out. Think about all the years with the Lions, all the talent. Matthew Stafford, your guys' hero. Kelvin, it doesn't matter, because the ownership wasn't intact. I really it'd be like a tough matchup on a week-to-week basis. All right, you got Caleb Williams this week, but as far as the Bears being a threat, I wouldn't be worried.
Well, you're right about that, though. Organizations, typically, especially if it's a trash organization, doesn't matter who the quarterback is, they're going to fail them. But still, Caleb Williams is that guy. I believe that half of the NFL would trade their current quarterback for Caleb Williams right now.
I think so.
Yeah.
Half the NFL.
But would Caleb Williams go to half those other organizations?
That's a good question.
Because he's making $6 million right now, getting laid by celebrities still as a college kid. He can wait another year. Yeah, and if I'm Caleb, I do not want to go to Chicago seeing what's happening with Justin Fields, and who they have as head coach. I'm not interested. But yeah, I do believe the other part of that is he makes an impact right away. It's Caleb freaking Williams. So we'll see. I think with the NIL, it makes guys have the leverage to decide what they want to do, and it helps the players. If I'm Caleb Williams, and like you said, I'm making millions of dollars playing college football, and I could choose to declare if I want to. Maybe he goes back. I think that's real. We'll go to break. We come back. We'll get to what's trending with Lucas and, of course, mailbag. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at Randy Wise, because how would you like to see famous athletes like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, and Braylon Edwards play golf with average Joes? Shout out to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, because you'll be able to do just that. It's a Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise decision and pay attention to Woodward Sports for more information soon.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
All right, 3, 2. Hey, it's Chris Hansen, Woodward Sports. Let's go.
Mike's not on it. How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in a city that never sleeps. It's a Centron Energy Drink It and Live It sweepstakes. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter for your chance to win the 100K Vegas getaway at drinkcentron.com/Vegas and buy Centron at your local Meijer store. Centron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and a choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves. drinkcentron.com/Vegas.
You know what time it is? It's 9:40.
Oh, yeah.
What's trending with Lucas? Check your watches. Lucas, what do you got for us?
We're going to do this with no breaks on this one. We got a Packers fan first at Lambeau on Thursday night, his reaction to it, and then the best one. We got a Bears fan following that. And then we'll bring it back. But it'll probably be like 2-3 minutes, but just a pure goal.
So, we lost, 20-34. It wasn't the best effort. We didn't come off at all in the first half. I'm really disappointed and overall upset me with Joe Barry. This behind me, a crowd of blue, is because of the gold package games, because everyone sold their tickets to Lions fans, and I'm absolutely upset with that. Just absolutely upset. And this, I absolutely hate that. That right there is unacceptable, and I swear to God, I better not see it ever again. Just absolutely disgraceful. Moving on to next week, we'll take our loss, high chin up. I hate the Detroit Lions so much.
Let's go right here. God, if they don't get this, I'm going to get so fucking mad. I'm going to get so fucking mad if they don't get this. Why is it? Oh, I feel like we should run a QB sneak, man. Fields, they're going to hand the ball off. No, it stopped. Oh my God, they fucking stopped him. Stomach right now. I am genuinely sick to my stomach. It's 2:52 left. His rush is going deep. Oh God, no. He's wide open. Oh my God. They're already in field goal range. Please miss. Please miss. Please miss. Oh, it's fucking good. It's fucking good. It's fucking good, dude. We're fucking losing. We're fucking losing! Come on, Justin. Come on, baby.
Third down and 13. Santos' career long is 55.
They're bringing pressure. Justin. Oh, he threw a fucking pick! God damn it!
Wow.
Flannel, who lets your little cousin out?
Yeah,
that's fair.
You know
That's
what's funny? And maybe it's kind of sick, like from a Lions fan's perspective, that we had to endure a lot of those moments, and just seeing other people just be sad, and I love it. I love it. You deserve it. You all deserve it. Packers fan, I absolutely hate this. I absolutely love it.
Welcome to the fucking show.
I love it.
Welcome to the show.
I love it. I can get used to this. I can get used. I want to have a cup full of just NFC North fans' tears, and I just want to drink it. And all you guys, enjoy it. Lions are gonna be around for a while. Get used to it.
You know the funny thing too is I would say that every single NFC North team's fan base had expectations for their respective teams. I think that Bears fans thought that they were going to win the division or at least compete. Vikings fans, of course, to defend their title from last year, and Packers fans, I know some were a little bit unsure about Jordan Love, but they're Packers fans. You always expect to win the division when you're the Packers. And all of those teams pretty much right now, it's looking really rough for them, especially for the Chicago Bears. My goodness. I mean, I can't imagine what it was like to be a Bears fan in that game. I mean, they were up 28-7 and just melted down. That's why I say that I think the Bears are going winless, because Justin Fields can start the game as well as you can possibly start a game for a quarterback for like 3 quarters, and then it's still not enough because he's always going to Justin Fields, and that Bears defense is always going to Bears defense. It's biblical how bad they're losing games. The Vikings are 1-3. They're done, and the Packers, I think they're like a 7-win football team. I really do.
I love butthurt NFC North fans. I do. It's
especially
hilarious.
Packers fan. Like, that kid just defined Packers fans for me. Just like corny, cheesy, ornery, annoying, just like
he's like
stuck up. Like, oh my God, they're cheering "Go Lions." This is disgusting. I can't. I hate the Detroit. Shut up, dude. You've been watching Aaron Rodgers for literally your whole life. He's probably the same age I am. You can take 2 back-to-back home losses, and it's going to be happening for the next 4 or 5 years, I think. LaFleur's reaction after that We should have played that too.
Yeah, he was butthurt too.
That's when you know. LaFleur knows that times are changing. He's never had to be asked those questions before.
No, he's butthurt. He's like, that was a stupid question. At the press conference, he was mad people are asking him questions about losing.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. All these Packers fans, Bears fans. Bears fans are separate, but for Packers fans, like this is the era of being a villain. Like, and this is why Brad wears it. Like, I think it means something. It's true. Like, there's truth to that. Being a villain, everybody else hating you. Of course, they're gonna hate the Lions. Like, everybody, no one. You have to be hated to be a good football team. Yeah. Like, if you're not hated, you're doing something wrong. Like, no one really hated the Lions because they stink. They've always stunk. So everyone's like, oh, they're the Lions. Now you're hated. Welcome to being a good NFL team. Get used to it.
Well, Jeff, we just saw a Packers fan and a Bears fan who were very upset, but I know 2 Lions fans at this network who had a pretty good weekend. Let's see what it is.
See what happens. All right, let's get to the bottom line with our friends from Woodward Sports.
Thanks, Dan. A dominating performance on both sides of the ball, and the Lions come out of Green Bay with a win, making this their 6th straight divisional win, the longest streak since 1995. We're at Woodward Sports to get their thoughts on Thursday night's game. Jeff, what is your biggest takeaway?
It was nice to have Taylor Decker and David Montgomery back, right? I mean, the Lions as a team rushed over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. First time they've done that since 1998. And the first time they've done it against the Green Bay Packers since 1973. It's a new era for Detroit Lions football.
And Matt, such a great performance on a Thursday night. What stood out to you?
It was the rush defense that stood out to me, Gabby. The Lions gave up 27 yards to the Packers. That's the fewest they've given up to Green Bay since 1987. It's also the 2nd straight week they've given up less than 45 rushing yards to their opposing team. It was that rushing defense.
Dan, a historic win on a Thursday night, which gives the Lions 10 days of recovery before Carolina comes into Ford Field, and gives Lions fans 10 days before it's time for them to get loud again. That's all we have for you at Woodward Sports. Sending it back to you.
Look at you guys, man. Look at you and Broder. Although I was a little distracted in that clip from parts of time, but you guys look great. I'm proud of you too.
Well,
I'm proud of you.
That was, yeah, I'll agree. That was Hollywood. That was pretty Hollywood.
You put on though. You put on for the network.
I did?
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You,
Yeah,
you and Broder both.
Broder did a great job too. We filled in for Ryan and Braylon for the post game there, and that was a lot of fun, man. I mean, seeing Dan Miller throw it to me, man, I'm a big Dan Miller fan.
Think about that.
I am.
Dan Miller throwing it to you, and then you're getting your haircut by you and Broder both made out with the haircut stylist there. Not made out, but like you got the top tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
See Broder?
Girl, you're
Broder when they were sending it back to the stew.
Yeah, he's so funny. Broder did a good. He's just a positive man, dude. I love Broder. He's the best. Enjoyed doing that, man. Shout out to Fox too, and Ryan for helping me out through that because he was a big help. Ryan
Shout
Ermanni.
out Gabby too.
Yeah, the whole team. It was good execution. Great execution. Let's go to break. We get back. We'll get to mailbag, and of course we'll close out the show here. But first, I got to tell you about our friends over at SMA. The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast is The S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live next Sunday, October 8th for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market in Shed number 5, and it is going to be a bash starting at 9:30 a.m. until game time. The official Lions tailgate is back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame it with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? Food, beverages, and entertainment all included. Get your tickets online today at bullseyeeventgroup.com or win some from Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on IG, and direct message Lions VIP.
We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's time for Mailbag. Let's try to get to these questions here, and we'll start us off with Jesse's question. Actually, we'll go to Big Con 51 because he was first, technically. It says, Mailbag, is Kurt gone before we get to play him? That's a good question.
Well, that's week 16, I think, because we go Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings.
You know what? To Big Con's point, I think there's a chance. Because he's in the last year of his deal.
Where would he go, though?
I don't know. That's another question. But trading Kirk, I think, is possible. If I'm the Vikings and I know I'm going to stink, you trade Kirk Cousins. You try and stink and you draft your next quarterback. That would be, realistic. I don't know what the Vikings plan to do, but I think that would be the move if I'm the Vikings. Trade Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say what the Vikings are thinking. If you're the Vikings right now, are you thinking that you just saved your season or that you're going to be a 4-win football team? I would think if you're the Vikings, you probably think you saved your season. I would tend to disagree. I think they're going to be bad, so it would probably behoove them to get rid of Kirk Cousins, but I don't think they will.
If I'm Kirk Cousins and I'm having a pretty good year, I don't want to waste that year in Minnesota when we stink. So, again, if I'm Kirk, I'm asking for a trade too, but we'll see with that. Jesse asks here, and I want to get to this question. Mailbag, do you guys think Brad will make a move before the trade deadline? If so, what will it be? I was thinking D-line could always use more bodies. I think so. I mean, at least if I'm Brad Holmes, and from his perspective, if you think you're a contender and you want to add more pieces and someone's available, I would consider adding it. And now, what pieces specifically? I think D-line is the obvious one, with James Houston being out potentially for the year. So I would say D-line if there was a move to be made.
Bring me Vita Vea.
Bring
me Vita Vea.
That's
Bring
a good
Derek
one.
Brown.
Oh.
Bring me, well, they won't trade out Oliver, but I'm just trying to think of people that would actually get traded.
You think Derek Brown will be traded?
I think he could if the Panthers keep stinking it up like this.
I would love Derek Brown.
And he's not gonna, because he's already in his third, fourth year. And they're gonna have to re-sign him, and they're already in a rebuild, so that could be a name that definitely flies around.
Did he come out of what draft class was he out of? Derek Brown, was that wasn't Hawkinson, was it?
Let me do a quick,
because I know there's a point in time where the Lions could have had Derek Brown. Was that Panay? What draft class was that?
No, because they could have had Ed Oliver. No, Ed Oliver was Hawkinson's draft class.
Derek Brown was the 2020 draft.
Where was he out of?
Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn. He was a beast.
Yeah.
Oh, the Akuda draft, Garrett said. Or Panay. Which one was it?
It was Akuda.
The Akuda. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you guys for that. It was the Akuda draft class. So, man, I remember that conversation at the time, too. Like, should the Lions take Derek Brown? And we don't got to revisit that. It's over. Some other questions here I want to get to. Steve says, Mailbag, Lions opening up with an 8.5 spread. With that, is this game going to be a blowout like last season's Jags or second Bears game? Well, the Panthers have a better defense than both those teams, so I don't know if it'll be a blowout as in Lions score 40, but I don't see the Panthers scoring more than like 13, 16, like 16 points. So and I think the Lions will score 20 plus. So I could see them winning by 2 touchdowns. I could see that.
Yeah, and honestly, I know this is going to sound a little bit too preemptive, but I'm concerned that whether Bryce Young is going to be good or not. And I get it. A lot of rookies have had poor rookie seasons. Like Trevor Lawrence is the most perfect example. He had a horrible rookie season. But with Bryce Young, I haven't even really seen flashes of anything special. And I was high on him coming out, but C.J. Stroud has certainly been better, and even Anthony Richardson has shown some dynamic ability. Bryce Young just hasn't been that for him so far.
No, not yet. Cassie Reed, Mailbag, how do the Lions avoid a letdown performance against the Panthers team that ran for 400 last year? That right there. Not allowing them to run for 200-300 yards, because if you do that, I'm telling you, Bryce Young, it will be fine.
He'll
look good then. If he can just Sam Darnold looked good when they did it. So that's my concern.
The corpse of Miles Sanders.
At this point At this point, who they paid a lot of money to, which was a terrible contract. But the more, and this is, Bryce Young's at the point in his career where you want to make him beat you. Like, that's kind of, now in 5 years, we'll see how Bryce Young, it's kind of like the Jordan Love argument. Right now in their respective careers, you make Bryce Young beat you. And I don't think he will. With the weapons, they kind of lack. Adam Thielen's like their number one wide receiver. So,
out.
yeah.
He has been.
Yeah. Solid. But he's not
he had
like
135 yards and 2 touchdowns a week ago.
But I'm not sitting here going, I fear Adam Thielen. Maybe you are.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, that's your guy. So maybe you feel that way. But yeah, I like the Lions' chances against the Panthers. I do. Dat Boy Roy, mailbag, did you guys go to Miggy's last game? No, JB did, though. And JB kind of talked about it at the beginning of the show and his experience there. He had a lot of fun.
It's a good day. It was a good day at the ballpark.
Good day at the ballpark. There you go. Trippy says, mailbag, will the Lions line up Gibbs and J-Mo both on the outside to really open up for Lagoda and Sun God? I don't know. The whole, Gibbs thing, using him at wide receiver, I still have faith in that, but I haven't seen it. So, we'll see.
Some optimism, and I'm not saying this is for sure, but maybe they were waiting for J-Mo to come back.
If those two were out there,
so they could just really open it up, you know what I mean? Because they were like, with no J-Mo, we're going to have to rely on the run a little bit more, so maybe that's what they were doing. But I think even if, the Lions are winning, let's stop complaining about Jahmyr Gibbs' usage.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
The Lions are winning.
They're winning games. So, again, it is what it is. But for people to act like, still bring, maybe he can be used at wide receiver strictly. No, he's a running back. He's being used like a running back, so we'll see. But, yeah, no doubt, Gibbs and J-Mo on the field together will be deadly. I'm telling you, speed kills. It's just how it works. John Lord, mailbag, how many sacks do you think the Lions defense will get against Young and Dalton? That Panthers offensive line isn't bad. They're all right. But I could see the Lions getting free for 3 to 4 again. Yeah. I mean, they had 5 last week, that's 7 the previous week. I don't know if they go for 6 again, or 6 or 7 again, but I could see 3, 4. I could see if they keep up what they've been doing, man. I think they'll get them a couple times.
Yeah,
they will.
I would say 3 is probably my prediction as of right now, and at least one of them goes to Aiden Hutchinson. The fight for 15 rolls along.
Hey, just a quick little update. Christian McCaffrey in his first 4 games of his career, 31 carries.
I already talked about it.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 39.
Yep.
So just let's relax.
I mean, that's
one of these guys looks like the MVP in the NFL, and he's in year 9 right now. Probably not that late. Probably year 7, but still.
And C-Mac was drafted higher.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, it's early in the season. We'll see how it plays out with Jahmyr, and then we'll have more of those conversations. Through 4 games, I don't want to hit the panic button just yet. What about this? Steve G. mailbag. I've been bald for a decade. Would Broder's hairstylist still schedule me for a trim? You know what, Steve G? There's hope for you. You can still get it. Maybe you got a beard, trim your beard up.
Yeah, you can do massages too. You can do a scalp massage.
Yeah, why not? Jesse Adams, mailbag Jeff, you told me to ask my Urban Meyer question, so here it is. If MSU hired Urban, I would say he's better than 70 to 85% of Big Ten coaches. Sam, thoughts on it? I mean, yeah, that statement's facts.
I mean, I guess, but Michigan State is in shambles right now.
Yeah, I don't think Urban Meyer's realistic. Even though that would be the best available coach, I just don't think it's realistic.
I mean, you can shoot your shot all you want. I think that if you're Michigan State, I don't blame you for wanting Urban Meyer. He is one of the greatest college football coaches of all time, and everywhere he's gone, they've won. But I wouldn't fear Michigan State even if they got Urban Meyer, at least not in the beginning.
And that'll do it for us today, guys. Again, appreciate you for joining the show and showing love. It was a good show today, man. And tomorrow we'll have more Lions to get to and plenty more this week as they take on the Panthers at home. So, again, appreciate you guys. Jeff Iafrate, your host as always, my guy, my partner in crime, Sam Flannel, JB holding it down for us, crushing it in the audio booth, and, of course, Lucas, the man, the myth, the legend in the TD booth. We'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Have a great Monday. Again, Big D Energy 11 to 1, and, of course, the rest of the programming throughout the day, as you guys know. E&E 2 to 4, Heavyweights 5 to 7, and then you have Woodward Nights 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Until tomorrow, take care, everybody.